Okay, class, today we're going to talk about pre-Columbian gender role constructs. Okay, as you know, pre-Columbian means before Christopher Columbus. It means before 1492. So we're looking at what are the expectations gender-wise in the Americas, say 550 years ago. Okay, so first, let's get this out of the way, the difference between sex and gender. What is the difference between sex and gender?
Sex is the physical difference between a male and a female, and gender is the artificial invention by two different types of cultures and societies.
Good, really good. And so each society and each culture will define gender differently. So wherever you go in the world, what is expected of men and of women will be slightly different, at least slightly different from where you come from. And sex, of course, is just a physical difference and a biological difference. So let's compare the Eastern Hemisphere, Asia, Europe, and Africa, to the Western Hemisphere, North America and South America in particular. Okay? If this was a slide on the Eastern Hemisphere, all of these words would start with P. Patrifocal, patrilineal, and patriarchal. Because in the Eastern Hemisphere, almost all of the Eastern Hemisphere, things were run by men. One's family identity was defined by men. The father's line, the father's name was passed on to the children. Everything was owned by men in most places, not everywhere in the Eastern Hemisphere. And the governments and the families and virtually everything was run by men. Contrast that with the Americas before the Europeans came, and you'll find a much different story where everything's turned around the other way. Because in the Americas, throughout the Americas, and you're talking about 500 indigenous nations, the family and one's identity was defined by who one's mother is, and her mother before her, and her grandmother before her. So one's family name and one's family line and identity was defined by the women, matrilineal. They followed the matriline. Okay. Ownership in the Americas, virtually everywhere, the houses were owned by women. The other property was owned and run by women of the clan, whichever clan that each family belongs to. Virtually everything was owned by women until the Spanish arrived, and the Spanish brought horses, and now for the first time, something that is very significant and that conveys power was going to be owned by the men, the horse. But the Spanish brought that. Virtually everything else besides the horse traditionally is controlled by women and owned by women, particularly clan ownership. Matriarchal, now this is kind of sketchy because very few indigenous societies in the Americas were actually matriarchal. However, in most governments of most of the 500 nations, women played a very significant role. Typical in this pattern is Cherokee Nation. the largest nation in the United States now in terms of people. In Cherokee Nation, traditionally, the women ran most branches of government, and the men ran the military and the diplomatic corps. That's Cherokee Nation. That's a typical pattern in most of the indigenous American nations, Native American nations. Okay, so how many genders are there?
3.
3. I think that most educated people would agree with you. There are 3 genders. Some say there are 5 genders, 4 genders. Anyway, there's more than 2 genders. Okay. In Native America, before the Europeans came, they didn't think in terms of how many genders are, because gender was on a continuum between 2 extremes. The male extreme on one side and the female extreme on the other side. You can think of a line, and someone's gender identity will be anywhere on that line between male and female. It was commonly recognized throughout the Americas that many people have both a female spirit and a male spirit. Okay? And if those spiritual energies were very balanced in an individual, then from childhood that person would be trained to be the medicine man or the medicine woman. Okay, so in many Native American nations, the medical profession and the spiritual profession was pretty much run by people that in Indian country today are called two-spirit people. They would be trained from childhood to become that. A typical two-spirit person never married. His or her allegiance and dedication was to the entire village, or to the entire band, or to the entire tribe, or wherever they lived. Many villages had at least one two-spirit person there for spiritual guidance and for medical attention. A two-spirit's identity from day to day in terms of gender was changeable. Okay, so on one day, the two-spirit may be out hunting with the men, hunting for antelope. On another day, the two-spirit may be cooking with women, okay, depending on where the balance was needed. This was very important in Native American society because everything was thought of in terms of maleness and femaleness. You actually have different words for rain. You have one word for female rain. You have another word for male rain. Rivers were thought of as either female rivers or male rivers, depending on how they flow. Okay, so everything in the world had a female or male characteristic, and it was the two-spirit's job to balance those energies in the village and among the people. Okay, if you would like to do your term paper on this, look at the optional readings, and in the optional readings you'll find this book, Seagull, From Moon Goddess to Virgins, published by University of Texas Press. Okay, so we're going to work in groups now. I'm going to randomly divide you into, we have 18 people, I'm going to divide you into 6 groups. I will tell you who you're working with, and when you get into your groups, I want you to select one of these 2 topics to work on. And I would like for you to discuss either gender roles changing as time passes by, or gender role constructs being different in different places. So if you select topic 1, I would like for you to discuss the differences between what is expected of you as men and as women compared to when your grandparents were your age. Okay? To come up with answers on how gender changes over time. If you're working on topic 2, I would like for you and your group to select a distant city in another country and discuss the differences between gender roles that are expected of you and what might be expected of people in that other country, in that other city. Okay. So are there any questions about this before I divide?